Okay, welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. We are here for Aftermath of Dynamite. We are back after a couple, well, almost 8 weeks, I guess, or 7 weeks off. So uh, we're not going to go over 7 weeks of programming. We're only going to talk about this week. So you guys
No.
don't have to worry about that. But we are back, same time, same station. So it's myself, your boy ALW, and your Ruby Queen of Workhorse Wrestling Network, Miss Anika. How you doing?
I'm okay. How about you, darling?
Doing all right, doing all right. Feeling better, happy to be back. So ready to talk some AEW from the last week. Now I did watch all three shows today because I didn't watch Rampage and Collision on Friday or Saturday, and so some of the matches melded together. So, but I do have banners, so hopefully I got them all straight. Um, which match was actually on which show? But
Yeah.
let's see. We can go ahead. Oh, hey, if you're here watching, please chime in. We love to talk with you guys. Hit us up in the comments. We love to hear what you have to say. All your input on the matches. If you got any comments on our reactions, please. The best part of this show or any show that we do on Workforce Wrestling Network is interacting with you guys. So, yeah. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button, please. Hit the like button on this video. Hit the bell to be notified so you'll get a notification every time we drop something, which is every day of the week. And we'll go over that schedule when we do some cleanup at the end of the show. In the meantime, I guess well, that's my wife in the background sneezing. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but we will start with Rampage from last Friday, 2-9. So I'm not going to lie, while I was gone, I didn't really watch any wrestling. So you might have to fill me in a little bit on some of the storyline stuff that's going on.
Okay. I'm. I'll
This has really been
try.
my first week back since like Christmas almost, right around Christmas time. So let's see. This week's Rampage, last week, I guess, Friday's Rampage started with dum dum dum. We had you Undisputed Kingdom versus Best Friends. So it was um, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, I believe, and Roderick Strong versus Trent and Rocky. And is that right, or was it just? Let's see. Was it just Trent and Rocky versus uh, Matt and? Do you remember?
I'm gonna be straight up with you. No.
I'm trying to see. I'm reading the little comments here on the website. The Kingdom of Big Cat Trent by Rocky Romero. Yeah, I watched it this morning, but I'm trying to remember. I don't remember who it was, but I remember enjoying the match. Um, I think it was all three of them, but I could be wrong. I think it was all three of them, but um, let's
As
see.
soon as
So, needless to
phone
say,
work-
go ahead.
yeah, no. As soon as this phone starts to work, I'm gonna see if I can get us because I did see last Friday Rampage. I definitely saw it. It really is a matter of remembering that match. I don't. Wait. No. Not you.
Yeah, it looks like here, and I just watched it today, and I'm drawing a blank, but it looks like here, if I remember correctly, it was just Matt Taven and Matt Taven and Strong versus Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta, I think. So I think it was just a tag team match. But
Okay.
then OC came down for the save at the end because um,
Of
they
course,
tried to set up the Undisputed Kingdom tried to set up Rocky for
the extra
and then
beat down
OC
for
came
it.
down for the
Yeah.
save. The extra beatdown. That's right. So let's see. Then our second match on last week's um, Rampage was the Young Bucks, the new EVP Young Bucks, who I can't get
I,
enough of. They are absolutely hysterical. Nicholas and Matthew Jackson are hysterical. Um, versus Robbie Lit and Mundo Rocks. I don't even know. Oh, see, I got the names wrong even on the thing here. I'm not. I have no idea. I mean, I watched this match but they're definitely jobbers. This was definitely one of those. Let's get the young bucks out there to show their new little gimmick and repackaging, I guess, for now at the moment. Um, and for them to actually be able to announce that they're going to make a run at the tag team champions, but they're not going to use their EVP power to get there. They're going to climb up the ranks and work their way up. So that's what they say. Uh, we'll
Right.
see. I don't believe it, but I do like the new Matthew and the Nicholas Jackson.
So I do remember this. Like that's crazy. 'Cause I do remember this very very specifically because I'm like, okay, this is right after the last Dynamite where they beat up Sting and Darby, and they had the, we'll talk about more about this. But they had the blood-stained white suits on, which I do get and I do like to a point. We'll talk about later. I was very surprised they introduced their new music on Rampage. Right, I'm like, now Rampage did great numbers last week, but I'm like, y'all didn't want to wait till Dynamite to reveal the new theme music and all that. Like, all right, cool, I respect it. But yeah, this is definitely just like, hey, this is the first time we're watching the EVPs wrestle, and afterwards, yeah, Matthew, I'm gonna use your government name, uh, going buck quack crazy, and then going back down. All right. All right, sorry, that's my bad. That's my bad. Great show. We're gonna have a great show. I am on the same boat. I love it. I'm here for the ride because they're stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I like these guys like that. And it provides something new. Their characters weren't stale or anything, but I like it when people do successful kind of repackaging, and this seems for me so far this is working. So it's funny and it's original. So let's see. Then we had Mystico versus Matt Sydal, which was kind of a short match, but fun. Two high flyers that can both wrestle. The only thing I wish is that they had given these guys more time. I mean, I understand why they don't. Um, I do like the whole, and we'll talk about it a little bit more because they had some on Dynamite and some on Collision. I do like the whole CMLL kind of crossover with AEW at the moment. Um, I'm liking it. I like the CMLL guys. I like Lucha. I like Lucha Libre. Um, it's fun to watch. It's very athletic and lots of high flying, and so I always find it fun. And I like Mystico. Um, so yeah, I mean, the only thing I wish is that these guys had gotten a little more time.
Got more time, more emphasis because like for the past 3 weeks we're like people are trying to make this an invasion. It's like it's an invasion, is it? Because they're not winning matches, and it's like wins and losses matter. So it would be very more effective that he won here. But no offense to Matt Sydal, if you're not being Matt Sydal, Lord have mercy, what are we doing here? So yeah, no, great match, and both showed out. But yeah, we'll talk about more about CML.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Then we had Brian Cage backstage talking about Hook. And him and Prince Nana talking trash about Hook and how he wasn't impressed, and that anything Hook can do, he can do better. What do you think about the Hook Brian Cage stuff? Are you here for it?
For Hook and Brian Cage specifically, yeah, it's a fun little story. But for Hook more so, yes, I love that him versus Joe put him back where he was a couple of months ago, back on the hot burner, right? Because Hook was good, and if something happened, don't really know what it was. Where it's like, okay, Hook kind of simmered down. So I am happy that Hook got a little back, he got his heat back a little bit, right? So as of right now, yeah, use the rankings and build them back up. I'm totally okay with that.
So I like Hook, but I have a bit of a hot take, or what I think is a bit of a hot take. I don't think he's developing, or he hasn't really developed like I feel like he should over the last 2 years. I mean, it's been almost 2 years since he came on TV the first time and had the FTW belt and all that stuff. And I still feel like he doesn't talk very well. I still feel like his in ring movements are very kind of robotic still. They're not very fluid. And I feel like it's really, he does like two or three things. He does a lot of suplexes and he does that judo hip toss. And that's really it. He's got to do more offense and he's got to talk more. He's got to, I understand you have kind of that quiet killer, I don't have to talk persona, but at the same time, I don't think it's coming off well. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's coming off as boring and is not being able to talk. Not just I don't need to, but I really can't. Because a couple times he's tried, I feel like he's struggled a lot. So I don't know. I think Cook needs a lot of work still.
So I'm not going to 100% agree with you, but I'm not going to disagree with you either. I do believe that they have, what you call it, they hindered him when he first came out and whoop.
Oh, you're back.
I I do believe they hindered him by putting him in his own little bubble and not letting him go against other people to grow. I do think that was a misstep. And so one of the stories I wish would have happened a little bit is him being some of those young boy. I think that would have been great, right? But you know what? Do your thing, do your thing. Um, so in ring wise, I think he has gotten a little bit better. But I do know what you're saying about the whole talking
Sammy says they gendered him.
thing. I don't
Yeah, he
know.
just doesn't. He doesn't. I mean, I understand what personality he's trying to convey. He just doesn't really have any personality. Like I get it. Like you're kind of too cool for school. I get it, but at the same time, like I don't know. It just doesn't really work for me. There are guys where you can tell, like, even when they're not doing a whole lot, when they're limited, when they're trying to whatever, that some people have it and some people don't. And I'm not saying he doesn't have it. I'm just saying I'm not seeing it at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, I don't know. I don't know. Which is disappointing because I really like him. I want to like him. I want to really be like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I feel like I feel like we're still at the same hook today that we were 2 years ago, and I feel like we got to develop faster.
Yeah. And like I said, hopefully him being around other people instead of just being his own bubble it can develop a little bit more in ways that he
Yeah,
needs to develop.
yeah. And so for our main event of last week's Rampage, we had Willow and Chris Statlander versus Saraya and Ruby Soho. And I guess what is the official? I guess the big thing coming out of this match, ultimately, other than Willow and Chris getting the win, is that Ruby took her hand away when Saraya went to make the tag and left the ring apron and walked away and basically left Sriracha by herself, which I'm assuming is now her official departure from whatchamacallit. But I guess
The
we'll see. I'm not sure. Say
I'm
that
gonna hear
again.
wait.
Outcasts?
The outcast. Oh my god, I'm like, what
Outcasts. Yeah, I was like, I was drawing a blank. It was in my head, but for some reason it didn't sound right.
no.
So,
Oh,
um,
love this match. This was very much so fun. Like you said,
mhm.
hopefully it's one of the things where it's like I get it. It doesn't have enough stank to be on Dynamite, but hopefully at least be consistent with Will it be consistently on Rampage? Because what happened was before they were walking to the ring, well, they were to the ring, and Ruby had a note in her pocket, and it said something we don't know what it said, and like you said, she went against Sriracha. So I'm going to assume that either my personal favorite is Anna J for her note and said, "Hey, your girl set it up," which is basically her boyfriend Cool Hand Ant kissing another person, or it was Cool Hand Ant was probably the most obvious thing. He just put in a note. So I do love that they finally broke up, but more so, right? For the past 2 weeks, we had Stokely trying to get Statlander away from Willow, but Willow and Stat are too cool like that. They're like, no, we're together. So you're gonna be my manager, you're gonna be her manager, and they're finally a team now. And so the whole last when they won the match and how Stokely finally shook Willow's hand. He gave him a big ol' hug. I'm like, how do you not like this? How do you not
I
like
know.
this?
I love.
Fun.
I thought she was gonna kill him the way she hugged him. She choked the shit out of him. A big old bear hug,
it was so
throwing him
big. It
around like a rag doll.
was so adorable.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, I'm happy for that. I'm happy that Willow and Statlander will have Stokely. I think Stokely's great in general. I think he brings value to everything he does. So, and I'm happy to see Ruby finally stand up to Soraya and say, "Yeah, I'm not doing that no more." So,
Right?
overall, I thought it was a good episode of Rampage.
No, sorry. Yes,
I
it is.
enjoyed it.
Hmm.
Uh, I still think that Rampage suffers from being pre-recorded. Um, you said a couple times that you were surprised, like that the Young Bucks debuted their new music on Rampage, or that this match, could have been on Dynamite. And here's the thing, like I don't have any problem with that. Like bring more eyes to Rampage. The only problem is that it's not live, so people already know. If you wanna look, you already know what's gonna happen. Like if you don't want to, and I don't because I don't read it, but then I don't know what happens. But if you do, if you pay attention and you can't get away from it for whatever reason, then you end up knowing what happens. That's the only thing that I have an issue with. But I'm all for debuting new music on Rampage and Collision and doing stuff on there that you would ultimately think would be Dynamite worthy, but you need to bring eyes to those shows as well, right? So, I mean,
Right.
I feel like with WWE, you always had kind of this, even though there were times that SmackDown was the A show and was doing better and people liked it better. But there's always been kind of this hierarchy where Raw's like supposed to be the A show and SmackDown's the B show and NXT's the C show. I don't really care for that. Like, they should all be equal. Like, the goal should be to get
Yeah.
them all over a million views. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, a million people watching. I mean, and so you got to put interesting stuff on every show. I mean, you just have to. You got enough people. You got enough stuff you can do. You can do storylines across every show.
Yeah. And it really is a catch 22 of
So
you want Rampage to get better, you have to put this stuff on Rampage, right? And so, like little things,
right,
like I'm gonna say sacrifice, but yeah, trying the new things to see how they get the views up is necessary. So I definitely am for that, right? I'm definitely for that.
right. So that brings us to AEW Collision from last week, which was February 10th, Saturday, and the show kicked off with our boys, the BCC, Claudio and Mox, fighting two CMLL guys that I'm not familiar with, Sinji and Star Jr. Wasn't familiar with them before, but I really enjoyed this match, and I would love to see more of them afterwards. Even though Claudio and Mox got the win, I thought the match was pretty competitive, and I enjoyed watching them. I thought the four of them had good chemistry, and I'd be interested in seeing the two Mexican wrestlers again. But yeah, this was fun. I thought it was a good opener for the show. What did you think?
Most definitely. Like besides them losing, yeah, the CMLL collaboration, we never call it the invasion anymore, called the collaboration, have been very fun, especially with BCC. And so this match has been great as well. But it was like, hey, BCC won, so I'm going to assume the feud is over, right? You lost too many times. It's over. There's nothing left to discuss. But yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
other than Moxley calling out the whole country of Mexico, right?
Well,
A message back to CMLL in Mexico and tell any team anywhere in the world that if they want to step up. So I guess it's not just Mexico, but any team. And of course, that brought out FTR, right? So uh, then the four guys had to stare down and end up brawling, and security comes out to separate them. So yeah, I mean, I'm here for Claudio and Mox versus FTR. I think that would be a lot of fun. I don't know when they'll do it. It sounds like for me that would be like maybe a Revolution match. I don't know exactly what everyone's got going on. I got to look at the Revolution card already. People might already be matched up. There might not be room, but I'm just saying like those four guys seem to me to need a big stage, right? Like, I mean, you could do it on a Dynamite and on a special Dynamite, a Fighter Fest or something like that, but you wouldn't. I say this, and then at the same time, I'm talking about how you need to get eyes on on Rampage and Collision, I'm going to say you wouldn't want to waste that match on a Rampage or a Collision, right? I mean, I wouldn't even want to waste it on a regular Dynamite. Like that needs to be on a special Dynamite or on a PLE or something. That's the way I see it. So,
So,
um,
spoiler alert, they announced it that it's going to be Claudio Mox versus FTR on Dynamite next week, which is insane.
okay. Well,
It really is insane. It's insane. And I go back a couple of months last year. I want to say either October or November, and it was a whole brawl thing with BCC, um House of Black, and FTR. And it's like, oh, how is this gonna go down? It feels like I don't think they had an actual plan. Everyone was just like, we want to fight with each other. So I don't know how it's gonna envelop, but we're finally getting FTR versus BCC. And it's like, okay, fun. I'm with you. I would have thought this would be a Revolution match, but hey, yes, give it to me on free television, and I guess let FTR pick a third one up, and we'll have a trios thing at Revolution. I'm not sure, but I was very surprised when they announced it. Very surprised.
okay. We're getting that next week on Dynamite. They announced it on Dynamite last night.
Yeah, it was a little bomb. Yeah, it was a little
Yeah, I
bomb.
must have missed it somehow. Yeah, I must have missed that somehow because I totally didn't see that. Let's see. Then we had Sammy. I'm sorry, I'm not posting that comment. I'm not putting that comment up because you know why I'm not putting that comment up.
And we still want to be. Yeah, we still want views. I don't know. We want that
So
smoke.
we came. That brings us to Daniel Garcia versus Shane Taylor, which wow, I was very surprised that this went the way it did. I mean, I guess great for Daniel Garcia for getting a huge win over Shane Taylor. I see this as a big win. I mean, I don't Shane not, and I don't mean big just because Shane's a big dude, but like Shane's a big dude, and like you know what I mean. It's a big win. I mean, he's got the name and he's a big guy in general. So I mean, it looks good for Daniel to get the win over a big solid wrestler, and then Shane Taylor, Shane Taylor. So you know, I'm not sure what Tony wants to do. I feel like Tony's very indecisive about what he wants to do with Daniel Garcia. It's like he pushes him and then he does it, and then he pushes him and then he doesn't, and then he pushes him and then he doesn't. It's like, you know what I mean? He gets these
Yeah.
wins and then he falls back into normal stuff, and then he gets a win or takes a couple off. It's weird. Like I don't know. Daniel Garcia, from me, talent wise, should be in that top tier. He should be wrestling the MJFs and the John Moxleys and those guys, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
he's down kind of in that second tier still, and I'm not sure what that's about. But
I think it's more so about what's DG. Oh, Daniel's here. Not sure why
yeah,
this. Because
yeah,
it's the
so because it's
it's the
fun.
bow, bow,
Because it's
bow,
fun.
bow. It is fun. It's the conviction that Daniel Garcia has when he does it. But what, for what you're saying, I think it really depends on who he was with, right? He was with Jericho, and that Jericho Vortex, man, that thing is stronger than a mother. So I think he definitely had to get out of the Jericho Vortex to step out and get his own story and get hired on the card, which I do love to see. Um, you're a Shane Taylor fan, so you know who he is, right? I don't know who he is, so
Okay,
even though this is I know I loved what I've seen from him so far, right?
sure, sure,
But as
sure.
someone
Right.
who's the game for him, I would love to see him get more wins before helping another person get more wins. If that makes sense, right?
Sure.
'Cause I do love Shane Taylor with Lee Moriarty. There we go. I'm like, it's Moriarty. Lee Moriarty. Ooh, this ooh, big black mama coming in my face. But yeah, I love do love their group, and I do think they can be successful together. So I would love them to get more wins before becoming stepping stones for other people. But like you said,
Yeah.
this match was great.
Yeah. Let's see. Then we had a video package replaying Sting and Darby's AEW World Tag Team title win from Dynamite, I guess the week before, and they were attacked by Matthew and Nicholas Jackson.
Boo.
Um, boo. Then we had an Eddie Kingston promo,
Yay.
um, Eddie's backstage says he's disgusted at what the Young Bucks did to Sting on Wednesday, compared it to what Bryan Danielson did last week, stealing Brian Keith's moment. And
Mm,
Eddie challenged Danielson to a match at Revolution.
yay!
Uh, so I'm here for Eddie and the Dragon at Revolution. I'm here for anything Eddie Kingston does. Uh, I would have to go back. I didn't actually see last Wednesday's Dynamite, so you'll have to tell me. Did Brian Danielson really steal Brian Keith's moment? Because I'm not sure exactly what the reference is to.
So what
So,
happened was it was on Collision, right? And it was
okay.
yeah, it was Eddie Kingston. It was Eddie Kingston versus Keith Brandon Keith. I want to say Keith
Brian
is so
Keith.
bad. It was against Brandon Keith. Great match. Eddie won, but after that, who came out? Not sure who came out, but they
Okay.
announced that Brandon Keith was all elite, and it was like, ah! And then what happened was, yeah. So it's a little rivalry. Don't know how thick it is, but it's Eddie Kingston, so it's gonna be thick in his head. Right after that, Danielson came out because he had the match, but he rose Brandon Key's hand and gave him the where's his hand and pointed towards him. So it wasn't more so about standing. It wasn't more so about stepping on Brandon Keith's moment, but showing
Right.
Eddie Kingston. It was more so
Okay.
about that than anything. But he did raise Brandon Keith's hand, so it was good for the story. But they had the whole graphic for Brandon Keith, which was so amazing and awesome. But it furthered the story, so I can't be mad at it.
So I guess we should say what the stipulation is. If Eddie wins, Danielson has to shake his hand and show that he actually has respect for Eddie. What do you think of that stipulation?
I love it because it's classic Eddie Kingston, and that's all he wants in this life.
Exactly. I thought it was perfect for Eddie's character for sure.
Perfect.
Hold on for just 1 second.
No worries. But yeah,
Sorry, I had to go in and cough real quick. All right, so then we
no
had
worries.
Brian Cage come out and beat up two guys at the same time, the
Mm.
Outrunners, in a 2-on-1 handicap match to show, I guess, that he could beat up two guys because Hook did it the week before. Is that correct?
I believe so. It is. Yes.
Yes. So this is one of those anything you can do, I can do better,
Mm-hmm.
furthering the whole Brian Cage Hook feud. Um, I like Brian Cage. I talked about Hook earlier and how I feel about him. I'm a little disappointed that the Outrunners, which I enjoy, have definitely become jobbers, and not even like the Rocky Romero jobbers where they have good matches but just lose. Like these guys are just outright jobbers at this point. They just take L's and it's quick and ugly most of the time. So and now they're losing 2-on-1. So I guess it is what it is. I kind of had some hopes for them when they first came out. I kind of like their look
Yeah.
and their whole like 80s retro kind of tag team, but apparently nobody else seems to think that or at least Tony Khan doesn't. So
Yeah.
um,
No, no. I remember the first time they came. It's like, who is the we call it Make a Wish version of a of TOD or these people, but in the best
yeah.
way. But in the best way possible, though. The best way
Right,
possible.
right.
So it's one of them things where you wish that Elevation and Dark was back because they would have definitely been a great time there and got some more wins and then came on Dynamite and been better. But this
Yeah.
you they, they have jobs. They have jobs.
They have jobs. Let's see. Then we had the Undisputed Kingdom confront Ishii backstage. Matt Taven's upset. He used to be a member of Chaos and then suddenly he wasn't anymore. Roger
Oh,
Strong tells Ishii if he beats Orange Cassidy tonight, he'll be his opponent at Revolution next month. Yeah, I mean, I'm always here for the crossover stuff. Ishii is one of my favorite guys. I'm so frustrated right now with um, the
Undisputed Kingdom.
yes, because I love three of the guys so much. I love Adam Cole. I like Roderick Strong. and I love Mike Bennett. I can't stand Wardlow, and I don't like Matt Taven. I used to really hate Matt Taven. I think since being in AEW, he's a little bit better than he was
That's
in Ring of
progress.
Honor when I really hated him. But I still just don't like him, and so these five together just and Wardlow feels so out of place. Like he just one of these things is not like the other, right? Like the other
Yeah.
are like four smaller guys that are kind of workhorse guys that are always. And I understand, a faction needs their muscle and their whatever, but I don't know. He doesn't feel like he fits at all. So, and I know that these are Adam Cole's buddies and Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. I don't know. I just don't like Matt Taven. I just don't, and I don't like Wardlow. So I don't know this, which is unfortunate because I really like the other three guys a lot, and I want to like this group a lot. I guess we'll see. They're gonna be around for a while, so maybe they'll grow on me. What do you think of the
So
undisputed kingdom at the moment?
the slow burn, I'm not sure what the plan was because, as we all know, I'm Cole's hurt. So I think they're waiting, and waiting is not working for the group, right? Some things that should have happened that they're waiting for should happen already, i.e., Roderick Strong versus OC. That should have definitely already. If Roderick already had the titles, I think that would have been more credible for them as a team. And then they're and Matt Taven and Canellis, they're ROH tag champions, right? Don't watch ROH, but can you tell me had they been on the show defending the titles?
No,
It just-
not really. No.
like, so if you have titles on them, give them matches, even if it's just for Dynamite Collision, or like I said on ROH, let them be the credible threat they said they were going to be after the December pay-per-view, right? So the slow burn is not working in their favor, and so the faster they get things cracking, the better. We'll say
I
that.
agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. Let's see. Then Tony Schiavone's in the ring with the rated
Jeez,
R Adam Copeland
jeepers.
um, for an in-ring promo. He talks about Revolution. He tells the Young Bucks that if he'd been around, that wouldn't have happened. What they did to Sting and Darby, and mostly Sting. Um, he wants Eddie Kingston eventually, but he's got to refocus on Christian Cage and the TNT Championship. That brings out Daniel Garcia, and they're arguing about who deserves a shot. Uh, let's see, Garcia, that's right in the table, blah 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 blah. I guess we're gonna have a match. Yep. Okay. So Garcia and Adam this next week. I guess this coming up probably on Dynamite. Are we gonna get them on Dynamite or is it gonna be on Collision?
So they did it. So they did it like yesterday. The match was yesterday.
Oh, okay. That's right. You're right. It was correct. Okay.
Yep,
Yes, we'll get there.
yep,
Yep.
yep. We'll talk about it later.
We'll
Um,
talk about it later. That's right. I remember now.
I
Yep.
I
Yep.
like
Yep.
this promo, right? And like we were talking about Dan Garcia going back up the rankings. So this is a very good match for him to get on the level that we all think he could be at, right? And we all know that it's going to be Christian versus Adam again, right? But we need some filler. So this is a great in between match where we get there, right? And we'll talk about the match later. But okay, but here's what I wanted to discuss. So they shake hands, agree on the match, and then Adam gonna come to. He's holding on to Daniel's hand and tells him, "So you're trying to take food off my family's table that I have to whoop your behind." It's like, sir, if anyone who's not underneath a rock, you just got some Disney money. This ain't gonna take food off your freaking family's table. Shut up. You in Percy
Got
Jackson,
some
the
Disney
Olympics,
buddy.
you could set for these good 5 years.
Right. I
Not
love these rich guys. Not rich guys, but guys that are well-to-do, have plenty of money, are whining about how you're taking food off my kid's table. Like, come on,
like, sir, you
give
are
me a break.
set up. Say something
Between
else.
you and Beth, between you and Beth Phoenix, your kids are not hurting for food. I'm sorry.
They're
I don't.
not.
You know. I mean,
We seen your
they're
house. You
not.
just invaded it. We seen your house. You was fine.
Right. So yeah, no, I mean, I enjoyed this promo. I thought it was good. And like you said, we'll talk about the match here in a few minutes. Let's see. That led us to Brody King versus Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
Um, Ultimately, Brody King got the win, but a fun match. I mean, I enjoy Mark Briscoe a lot. I like Brody King. I like both these guys, so I'm always fun. It's always exciting to see them. And together they have good chemistry. I thought it was a good match. Again, more time would have been nice just in general, but at the same time, I get it. Um, it is kind of a filler match, unfortunately, even though both these guys should be looked at as kind of bigger talents than that. At the moment, they are kind of filler match talent. Mid card, for the most part, we need a match in the middle of the card. Let's give two guys that are good wrestlers a match in the middle of the card. So you get what you get. I thought it was good, and Julia Hart's there, and I enjoy what Julia is doing. So yeah, I mean, I like this. What about you?
No, great match. I did not like it because I love both people. So it's like, who am I cheering for? Stop it. Um. So, but on the other tip of it, if you, I know you said you haven't watched wrestling when you're out.
Right.
Please go back and watch House of Black versus FTR and Daniel Garcia in the cage match. That was great.
Okay.
It aired during Royal Rumble. It was the same time as the four way with Roman, LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Ricky. This was preferred. This was a preferred match. I
Yeah.
honestly was like, you know what? Y'all going so slow over here. I'm gonna go over here, and it was so great, right? But I bring that up because it's like after the FTR feud with House of Black, it's like, what are they gonna do next? I understand this because Mark Briscoe helped them, and so I do love, and I, when my Briscoe on my TV is always great. So don't know where this is going to lead, but I'm down for the ride. I'm down for the ride. This is a great start to whatever we're going to start.
Excuse me.
You get
Uh, then we have Brian Keith backstage talking about how he's here to collect the bounties on AEW wrestlers,
me.
and anyone that wants to step in the ring better be ready to pay up. I'm excited for
Awesome.
Brian Keith. I like Brian Keith. I think he's going to be a good addition to the AEW roster, assuming that they use him correctly. We'll have to see, but
And I think we all want we all know what we want. It's all matter if you're going to give it to it or not. Brandon Keith, Hangman,
yeah,
and Bandito in a freaking faction. Give us what we want.
I agree with that. Let's see. Then we had Deonna Purrazzo versus Kiera Hogan, which was kind of a short match. Deonna Purrazzo ultimately beat Kiera Hogan with the Venus de Milo submission. Um, I as she should. I mean, in my mind, Deonna Purrazzo is way up here and Kiera Hogan's way down here, right, as far as wrestling skills go and kind of where they're at in their careers and stuff. So I mean, I get it. Again, I um Deonna Purrazzo shouldn't be filler match. Unfortunately, that's kind of what this was. And I get it at some point, everyone's got to kind of bite the bullet and do what they got to do, but it feels weird for her to be in kind of a filler match. So I hope that they do more with her ultimately. Um, I don't know when Britt's coming back, but I'm assuming that her and Britt is going to be on the table at some point. I thought isn't Thunder Rosa back? She's is she intermittently back? Because like I thought I saw her that she was wrestling a match, and now she's not wrestling regularly again, though, right? It's not like
No, no,
every
no.
week or anything.
She's back, and it feels like it's two matches a month. But it really is kind of weird because they haven't given her the full red carpet of, hey, it's Thunder Rosa, and according in like and
Right,
SP3 speak it. Are we ever going to address that she never lost her title? We're not gonna we're not gonna say anything. We're not gonna even say nothing about that. Okay, cool, cool. All
right.
right, bitch. But
Uh, and what about Jamie Hayter? Do we know when Jamie Hayter's coming back? I mean, all these women have been out for so long. Like, we need that. We need these women back for this division. Serena Deeb. I mean,
so Serenity is on Collision, and now her they've given her a good look. She came back, she did a promo, and she's a baby face now, and now she and
okay,
so slow burn, she's doing great.
Okay.
I don't really know when Jimmy Hater's coming back, and like Britt is those are back problems.
Yeah.
So
We just need more for Deanna Purrazzo to do. She needs to be wrestling the top women in the company, and right now she's not, and that's not her fault. Some of them are out, and that's not her, that's beyond her control. So right, I mean, you can only do what you can do.
but here's the thing, right? I think Kiara did a great job, and then you going back to TNA. They had a feud on they were wrestling TNA, so they know each other quite well. And
Right.
it's a matter of use people that you have, because if you have not seen Kiara Hogan in Ring of Honor, please go watch those matches. It's her on Ring of Honor versus her on Dynamite. It's two totally different wrestlers. So
I agree with that.
that's so crazy to me. So like use people that
Yeah,
you have, right? You like you said, this short match, it could have gone longer, and what they did was great. But like you said, it's filler, right? We're not going to see.
yeah.
You don't have anything for Kiera right here, right? But hey, when you have the airtime, do your best and show out. But yeah, you got people here. You just got to use them properly. Cough, cough. Thunder Rosa, cough,
And
cough.
and and I don't want to say that it's all used to just further kind of the Tony Storm Deanna Purrazzo storyline, but as you know, the match is over. Deanna's leaving. Here comes Tony, right? And they pass each other on the ramp, and they have the
Mm-hmm.
little whatever, and we know that that's ultimately where they're going, right? Deanna and Tony. So like, you feel kind of bad. I mean, you start to feel kind of bad for what you call it, that she's just kind of there, Kiera Hogan, that she's just
Yeah,
kind of there to further that other storyline to a certain extent. I don't.
yeah.
So that brought us to Tony Storm versus Queen Aminata, who, wow. So I had not heard of her, and
Me
now
neither.
it's like she's got. I mean, oh, she's here, and like I'm here, like, and now she's on all the time and getting big matches, and yeah, for me she came out of nowhere. I mean,
Me
I
too.
don't, I wasn't familiar with her, and so yeah, I mean, it's kind of a shock, but at the same time, I like her. The couple matches I've seen, I've really enjoyed, um, and yeah, so this was fun. I mean, obviously Tony Storm got the win, and um, as well she probably should at this point, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm here for Queen Aminata. I'm excited.
I think if you're not here with Queen Aminata, I'm not sure you need to get your eyes checked because she is a total package. She has been doing very well in all of her matches, and so um, I love what they're doing with her. Hey, she got two more matches, and then she needs to win. She needs to win because she has what it takes to be a very good uh, a big player in the women's division of AEW. But like you said, the focus not exactly on her. It's the focus on Yana versus Tony. So she has to surface as just a competitor. She did her role. She did it very well, and I am very glad that she's here. But it's all leading towards Deanna versus Tony, which isn't it's how it's supposed to be, especially when Deanna's just getting into AEW.
Sure,
So good on you.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And that brought us to our main event of the night, which was Orange Cassidy defeating Tomohiro Ishii to retain the AEW International Championship. Everyone knows how I feel about Orange Cassidy, so I'm not going to just beat that dead horse.
Thank you.
Ishii is one of my favorite wrestlers, one of my favorite Japanese wrestlers, one of my just favorite wrestlers outright. So I'm always disappointed when he loses. But I did enjoy this match a lot, and it is what it is.
My sentiments
Anything you
exactly
wanted to say about it?
like you said. You know what it is. I'm not sure how many people thought Ishii was going to win, but this was a great match overall. And like you said, I'm like, if you don't love Ishii, you need to check your heart. He is adorable and he is cute and like he's adorable and he's just built to be
Uh,
cheered, right? And so, like you said, great match. Very decent main event. And then of course afterwards, the Beauty Kingdom comes out, try to hit him, blah blah blah. This is what I'm saying about the Undisputed Kingdom. Like this, let's do something different. Let's pick this storyline up. Let's pick it up.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, they need to do something more than what they're doing for sure. So that was the end of Collision, which I thought was a solid Collision.
Mhm.
Um,
Solid Saturday.
Collision is, it's Collision generally isn't pre-recorded, so
Mm-hmm.
in theory, they're putting a little more effort into Collision than they do Rampage. It
Yeah.
should be a little bit better. I mean, even though I don't like the ABC shows, I guess if you were ranking these, it would definitely be Dynamite A, Collision I think is their B show, and Rampage is their C show, right? So just based upon the effort they put into it, so solid Collision. I enjoyed it, and that brings us to last night's Dynamite from Valentine's Day, and I gotta say, Mox and Dax had a very nice Valentine's Day date. I enjoyed their I enjoyed their match. Um, I was watching this match and I thought to myself, I feel like there's a lot of John Moxley that reminds me of Stone Cold. That just kind of that over the top, always with the finger, kind of that loose cannon,
Mm-hmm.
can't be reined in, always intense. I mean, I think he's better in the ring, move wise, set wise, than Stone Cold was. I was a Stone Cold fan. Don't get me wrong, but I do think that Stone Cold, and I think a lot of '90s wrestlers really had kind of that what's become now looked at as a negative, as kind of that five moves of doom, right? They all had like their moves that they did, and they recycled them a lot. Now a lot of those guys, don't get me wrong, HBK, the Bret Harts, the he who should not be named, the Dean Malenkos, all those guys, a lot of those guys were doing a lot of stuff that the other ones weren't. So can't classify all '90s wrestlers like that. But I'm just saying that big attitude era style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Moxley, just with the way he punishes people and the way he kicks people and the fingers and the attitude, it reminds me a lot of Stone Cold. Um, and I really enjoyed this match. I like Moxley and Dax both.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they both put in a lot of work and it's a lot of fun. They have really good chemistry. And Mox got the win, as he probably should.
Yeah. No. You say this like how you said it makes so much sense, and then you say it in a freaking chat or another podcast, and people think that you just said that Moxley is bigger than Stone Cold overall, and it's like, sir, I said in the ring. Anybody like can you really tell me, Jimmy, that you really think that Austin moveset wise in the ring in 1988 to 2002 was better than Moxley? Was Austin doing suicide dives or anything? No. So whatever. Okay, I digress. um.
No, I
So
agree 100%.
anyway, now they set this up on Collision. When FTR came out and it was against BCC, I think we already knew what this feud was, and I was all the way here for it. I was all the way here for it. It ain't gonna be. It's gonna be a little technical, but it's gonna be more so fists and big. What was I gonna say? Big grumpy. There you go. Big grumpy men just hit me. We'll say yes,
Right?
but I love every inch of it, right? And so, of course, Mox. Well, not gonna say of course. I think Mox should win because with Dax, the whole thing is he is a straight up tag team wrestler. So him winning in singles is not out of the rim of possibility. But when he loses, it's not like, oh my god, he lost, right?
Yeah,
But
no, and again, against Moxley, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking a loss to John Moxley at this point. I mean, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's always in that conversation at this point. Definitely one of the best wrestlers on the AEW roster. So there's nothing wrong with losing to Mox. And when you have a good show against Mox, it does up your credit even if you lose, right?
mhm,
And Dax, who, like you said, is a tag team specialist, but has had some good singles matches when he's had them. So I'm not saying that I need a Dax Harwood singles run per se, but I also wouldn't necessarily be opposed to it, either. I mean, he's had some really good singles matches, and I could see him having a little singles run at some point. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that at this point, Dax should be probably losing to John, but giving him a good match like he did. I mean, a solid match, and John gets the win in the end. So.
yeah.
Let's see. Then we had a surprising announcement backstage. we had Don Callis was with Renee Paquette, and he said
Right.
since there's no one worthy of fighting the Don Callis family, he's going to pit two guys from the Don Callis family against each other, and he's going to have Takeshita versus Will Ospreay at Revolution. What do you
Okay.
think of this announcement? Right?
Um, I love it for Takeshita, right? It feels as though don't know what we're doing. Like you beat Omega twice, but yet we're still feuding with Jericho. And no offense, feuding with Jericho's not getting anyone over right now. So him versus Osprey, yeah. I can't wait for that element. I can't wait for that at Revolution. That's gonna be great. Don't know what to do afterwards, but yeah, give me that.
Yeah, I mean, I find it interesting. I mean, I like the concept that kind of BCC concept of iron sharpens iron. They've
Mhm.
done that in other factions and other promotions at times too, and so
Yeah,
I get it. Like, I want to see Takeshita versus Osprey, and if they're both in the same faction, the only way to get it is this way, right? So,
right,
I'm here for that. So I definitely am anxious for this match. I do think it's a little surprising for Don Callis. It feels a little out of character for his character and the Callis family for him to do that. Just because pitting his guys against each other just seems like something he wouldn't do. But again, I mean, he's not the booker, so he probably doesn't have any choice, right? I mean, Tony
right.
Khan said we want to do this or whatever, we're going to do it. So, but it does seem a little out of character for him. But
Now I will say this: it is a little disheartening that you've been feuding with Jericho for freaking this long that you don't have a much revolution for any of them, Hobb, Takeshita, even Kyle Fletcher, that you have to make up this match
yeah,
against Will Ospreay out of thin air. I will take
right,
it, but it's like those three dudes, okay, not even singly, but together deserve a proper storyline for Revolution. So it
agreed.
really is like, okay. Jericho, take a break, please. And let's get these, because I do love this faction. This faction can go some places and actually it can do some things. So let's get an actual story for them, please.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Let's see. Then we had Wardlow in a squash match
Mm-hmm.
against Barrett Brown and Adam Cole on commentary for all of 2 minutes, I think. So, uh, yeah. I don't know if you got anything you want to say about it. There wasn't much to say. It was a squash match, and Wardlow got the win.
Okay, I will say this. Wardlow's matches in the Undisputed Kingdom have been great for his character, right? I'm going to be big, and you're going to show it. I'm glad that he's wrestling because last week he tweaked his leg and then he hit the stairs. He's like, oh, how serious is it? Like, okay, it's not that serious. He's back wrestling. Okay, cool. So I am happy for about that. I'll just yeah.
Yeah. Then we had Matthew and Nicholas Jackson at the local airport in their blood-stained white suits that they're continuing to wear.
Now let's talk about this, right? I'm going to assume it's not actual blood. And why am I going to say that? Because if it's actual blood, that's nasty. That's nasty. That's nasty. That's
Uh,
nasty. I get the concept. They're crazy EVPs, but can we lose? Like this is what blood paint is for. And then if it's actual real blood doesn't stay red. So now it's like poo because it's turning brown. So it's like no. I need y'all to get some more soups and get some
uh,
bread because now it just looks nasty.
uh,
It looks
uh, yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely a look. I mean, I'm not, it's yeah, it's funny. It made me laugh, but yes, I mean, I'm assuming it's not real blood, and it's probably one of like four white suits they have now that they put red stains on, so they don't have to wear the same one every time. And
yeah.
but yeah, no, it definitely is tacky for sure. I mean,
But
the 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 the, the implication is that it's blood, and that's
yes,
tacky, So like it's all right.
like
Let's see. Go ahead.
no, yeah. Get some ring gear. I'm sorry.
Let's see, that brought us to Adam Copeland versus Daniel Garcia,
Mm-hmm.
which ended in a no contest due to shenanigans from the patriarchy and the ultimate turn of Mrs. Wayne on Christian or on Edge, I guess.
Fully turtleneck neck.
And Mama Wayne took the
Mom Wayne.
hit him with the nut shot, right? If I'm not mistaken.
A low blow. Yep. And so I'll take it. I got you. So this is actually a very good match. Adam Copeland has been doing very good matches in AEW, right? And I the surpriseness on my face is the comeback when he was in WWE. It was always the matches are too long and it was all right, but the matches are very well done now in AEW, right? Which I do appreciate and love. Um, I love the finish because, like we said, how do we get to Adam versus Christian 3 without it overstaying its welcome? I believe this is how you do it, especially without derailing Daniel Garcia's momentum as well, right? So the concerto was, ooh, okay, makes sense. Not sure how long they're gonna have Adam out for. Uh, Revolution's in March. That would be a decent amount for him to come back. I think he should be out maybe a little more after that. But I liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the shenanigans, and like you said, we got to get to Copeland Cage 3, and this brings us to it. I like the swerve of Mama Wayne joining the patriarchy ultimately. Makes the patriarchy feel more powerful. It makes him feel more slimy, even if that's possible.
Yeah,
Um, and so, yeah, no, I'm here for it. I mean, it'll be interesting. Adam's probably going to get the win in the third match, I would guess, but we'll see. And at some point here, I assume the patriarchy's not long for this world. They won't be a faction for too long, I can't imagine. So we'll have to see. My guess is Christian loses the belt and has some sort of meltdown, and everyone somehow turns their back on him in some way, shape, or form. He's going to start, taking it out on everybody around him, and they're going to get tired. Something like that. I don't know, but we'll have to see.
yeah.
But
Cause,
yeah,
cause, 'cause we do want to see Christian and Edge tag team at least one more time before they retire, right?
I
So,
would like to see that.
but I do love the patriarchy though, so I don't want it to end just yet. Like, give us
Yeah, I mean, the patriarchy's so fun, and Christian's so good at that role, and
a.
I mean, other than MJF, he's the best heel in AEW for sure. And I mean, it's arguable he might be better than MJF. So, especially since MJF has been a babyface, I guess to a certain extent
Yeah,
for a while too. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I'm all here for it. Anything that Christian's involved in, I'm here for.
yeah,
So then we had Samoa Joe and Swerve and Hangman in the ring. I just want
yeah.
to take a quick second to say
Mhm.
how happy I am that we have a viable, competitive promotion to WWE that has a guy running it, whatever you think about Tony Khan or don't like about him, at least he has the wherewithal to do the right thing at times, right? The fact that Samoa Joe is AEW champion is the right thing. It just is. And I feel like that's something WWE would have never done for him, and especially not at this point in his career. And I think it's amazing. I mean, as much as I bashed Tony Khan for some of his nostalgic stuff that I didn't really like, um, giving Ric Flair as a present to Sting and some of that stuff. This with Joe being AEW champion is really all I could ask for. I mean, and the stuff he's done for Eddie Kingston and the guys that he's pushed that were kind of either kept down or were on the independents for so long and have now had a chance to shine and really blow up. That's all I could ask for. So that said, this was a good segment. I enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to this match at Revolution.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
yeah. Okay, so to what you said, I totally agree. Now, I will say that injuries have helped TK make the right decision,
Of
right?
course, of
But
course.
hey, the right decision has been made, and Samoa Joe is my champion. He will forever be my champion. Um, love unhinged. Like, I know, as of right now, yes, Heyman is a heel, but I don't call him a heel just yet. I call him unhinged Heyman because his fixation on Swerve is gold. I love it. It's great. And I do believe that they're going to X each other out, and Joe's going to be champion Revolution. But
Yeah.
yeah, Joe has always been that dude. He has never not been that dude, and I love him as champion. That little outline of no. What's not gonna happen is you pin him and leave me out in the cold, or you pin him and I don't get my belt back. No, I'm Samoa Joe. I'm gonna beat your ass. You're like,
Yeah.
that's my champion. That's my champion. I don't know who beats him, but not right now. Please.
Yeah. No, Joe is Joe, and he's in his bag right now, and he's great. He always has been. So I'm glad to see him getting that recognition on that big stage. It's great for him. Yeah, and I do think I was a little. I'm not sure what's going on with Hangman's mustache. Like it's way overgrown. Like normally it's the same. It's the same length as like his stubbly kind of 5 o'clock shadowy beard that he has. But now, right now, it's like a big old puffy, way overgrown joint. I was like, holy smokes, he looks a little odd. He
Well,
kind of looks like what you call it, Silas Young from Ring of Honor at the moment.
now, but if you look at Nicholas and Matthew, they're doing some crazy things with their facial hair. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind a B elite heel crazy EVPs. I wouldn't mind that if they can sound it out right, write it out good,
write it out good.
write it out well.
Let's see. All right, so that brings us to Tony Storm debuting her new film, Wet Ink, where she got a tattoo. I guess that is a tattoo that I was a little unclear. Deanna Peraza has the same tattoo?
Yes.
Were you
So
okay?
so when so it's clear that they're going to fix each other, right? They
Right.
had a promo on stage, and Dion the whole story is they were friends, and Dion was like, I am here, but I don't know you like that. It's like what happened? What happened to you? Let me refresh your memory. We were friends. We helped each other out, and then she was like, okay, you gonna act like you don't know me? Well, look down. And when they were living together, they got matching duck tattoos on their ankle. So there, so in the story, so in the movie Wet Ink, she puts a dagger through the wet
Right.
through the duck.
Right.
And I'm like,
Right.
okay,
Okay.
yeah, all right, that makes all right. I like it. I like it. That makes
I
like
like it.
whatever you thought Tony Storm was, she ain't coming back right now. And I will.
No, and she's out there. Some of the things that she says during the little movie just made me laugh. I was like, her little comments, like her little whatever, her jokes about tits or whatever. It's bizarre. Some of the things the words she puts together. I can't. I'm drawing a blank on the exact words right now, but yeah, I was laughing the whole time. So, and this obviously furthers the Deanna Purrazzo, Tony Storm match for Revolution, which should be amazing.
It's
So let's see. That brings us to um, the Matthew and Nicholas Jackson arrive at the arena, and they're still in their white suits with the blood on them. And then they have a match with Top Flight,
mm,
and they get the win. And despite last week saying, well, maybe it was on Collision or Rampage, even which when we talked about Collision, I guess, Rampage, where they talked about wanting to work their
right.
way back up. Now they're the number one contenders. They've declared themselves the number one contenders, and
After
they
two
want a title match.
matches, after,
Huh?
after two matches, they climbed up
After
their.
two matches,
Don't know how that works. I don't think that works like that. But you're
right?
EVP, so we're gonna deal with it. Um, love that they know their character and they're doing it in the ring. So those little hints of Nicholas going butt crack crazy and Matthew coming in like, hey, you're doing a solid job, and then turning back to heel and then being mad at the ref for not calling it straight. I do love when you know what to do with your character in the ring and outside the ring, right?
I agree.
So,
I agree. And I
It's
like the stuff with Tony Schiavone. They fined Tony Schiavone for $1,000 for disparaging remarks about the Bucks. They threatened to give him a buck trigger, EVP trigger. I'm sorry, EVP trigger.
sure.
Darby had to come make the save before declaring that Sting's final match at Revolution will indeed be Darby and Sting versus the Young Bucks. What do you think about that? What do you think about that being Sting's final match?
So I'm going to sit down for this. um, when they first said it, I wasn't mad. It was just like, huh, because when it comes to retirement matches, I do believe in stories. I do believe that if you can have someone from your past be the one to give you the good send off. Now, it should not be Ric Flair. It should not be Ric Flair. It should not be Les Luger or something like that. But like, okay, in the confines of AEW, right? Uh, I think we all thought it was going to be him versus Darby, but we all know now that Sting did not want to have a singles match, and so it's like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Um, I do believe if they would have done this, hindsight's 2020, but if they would have started this a month ago, it would have really gotten good, right? Like if they would have, like if Sting and Darby would have won the belts at Wrestle Dream, yeah, that's the no, 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 the last pay per view in December of
Yep.
2023. Like it would, it like it feels like it was feeling like we were trying to catch up to a story before Revolution, right? But as of right now, things are good, right? Things are good. I like it. I do. If they, like I said, if they would have done this a month ago, I think it really would have settled. It would have got the juices really flowing. But we're here now, and I think we are at a great place for this to be his last match. What do you think about Darby's promo?
I I liked it. I like Darby for the most part. I think he's a good talker. Um, I don't have a problem with anything Darby says or does. For the most part. I'm not. I was real hot on Darby when AEW first started, and he was kind of like a real novelty. I think and it's not his fault, but his style, because it is the same all the time, it starts to lose some of its impact sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? I think he's cooled off from where he was in the beginning when he was really, really warm and really hot. And at the same time, he's with Sting, so that's kept him kind of warm.
Yeah,
And he's had his moments here and there. I think it's interesting that Sting's last match is going to be with these three guys. I don't have a problem with it. They seem like they're all guys, and I get it. Like, you're not really going to be able to have a match with the Ric Flair or the guys that you might want to because they're all your same age and they're all 60, 65 years old and can't
they
do it
can't
anymore. But
move.
it feels like I don't know. I mean, I definitely didn't want to see him versus Darby in a singles match. I much prefer to see Sting go away where him and Darby are still together and friendly. I didn't want to see that dissolution. Um, and at the same time, like I don't know. I mean, I guess there's not. I mean, there's. I'm trying to think of who else in AEW I think would be a better fit for a final match for Sting, and especially if he doesn't want to do a singles match, then I mean, the Bucks, you can't go wrong with the Bucks, right? I mean, you just can't. And so they're always going to give you a good match. And I'm sure the chemistry will be good. It seems a little when you think about some of the Legends final matches, this seems to be a little bit of a, I don't know, underwhelming. Let's put it that way, at least in my
Like
opinion.
for his career, yeah, I think we all, in hindsight, right? Like you said, who if we had a choice out of everyone in the whole wrestling world, who would he face? It's kind of hard, right? Because he is 62, and it's actually kind of crazy that he can actually move the way he can move. He can actually, unlike other people his age bracket, right? Um, like like I said, it is what it is, and I'm not mad at it. Uh, off the top of my head, right? This is when you kind of wish that Cody might have still been in the what you call it in the AEW because you can tie that to Dusty. That would have been nice. Where is what's his name? Arn Anderson, right? I'm not saying face him, but
Right.
let him have a nice little back and forth with his
Yeah, yeah.
like that would have been cool. But like you said, as
Hmm.
of in AEW, this is the best way for him to go out. This is a good story for him to go out on, and we'll see what we'll rock with it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Then we had Renee with the Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Yeah.
For me, the jury's still out. I'm not necessarily sure that I like the acclaimed with um, Bullet Club Gold. They're fun at the moment, and I guess I'm willing to give it a chance, but I'm not sure I like them together. We'll see how that plays out. I guess there's going to be a huge 12-man match tomorrow on Friday's SmackDown, or Friday. I'm sorry, Friday's Rampage,
Great pick. Yeah.
and so I don't to see if they can work cohesively. Um, I'm trying to remember if they actually announced the 12 guys, the other six guys they were going to face, or probably just be some random six jobbers would be my guess, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I think they did though.
so, um, yeah, I mean, what do you think of Bang Bang Scissor Gang?
I, I I'm not mad at it, but I think we were all in the same accord of y'all got together because y'all were beaten up by Undisputed Kingdom. And now it feels like y'all forgot about Undisputed Kingdom. And so really it's like, why are y'all together? And I know
Right?
that's what they said. We're coming together, we can be unstoppable. But I thought the initial thing was to go against Undisputed Kingdom. So so that so that is insane in of itself. Storyline wise, I'm entertained. I do like it. Now I will say I don't see this lasting. I definitely see a heel turn where
Yeah, yeah.
where Sister Gang go against the Bang Bang Gang go against the acclaimed and they merge the trio titles. I think yes, please merge the titles. I don't even know why I have two trios titles, especially when none of y'all crackhead are in Ring of Honor to defend them. So, like, if that's the story down the road, yes, and I will have fun going getting there. Yes, allegedly.
Uh,
But yes,
uh,
if that's the
yeah.
end game, I'll have fun getting there. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see how it plays out. I don't know. I like the Elite a lot, and I like the Bullet Club Gold. I'm just not sure I like them together. We'll have to see how it plays out. But
Yeah.
that brought us to Willow versus Sky Blue.
Yeah.
Willow got the win here
Yeah.
against Sky Blue, who they've obviously fallen out. Sky Blue has now had a
Mm-hmm.
turn, and she's with Julia Hart, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
kind of. So, she's not formally a member of the House of Black like Julia
No.
Hart, or at least they haven't said that. But
No.
she's definitely with Julia Hart, and Julia Hart seems to be kind of in control of her to a certain extent. So,
More so her
uh,
mental. Yes. Yes.
yes, yes. So yeah, I'm happy anytime Willow gets a win. Stokely helped at a critical moment, so that's further bonding their relationship, which I like since Stokely wasn't super hot on Willow to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy for that. And yeah, I thought this was fun.
This was a great match. I love that Sky Blue has developed into her own person and she's getting great in the ring, right? Willow, Willow is all of our darlings. If you don't like Willow, Dolores, I think you need to go into your soul and search your heart of why. But and love Stokely with Willow and Statlander. Now I will say this, right? The whole Stokely helping it was on a little bit of the heel side. So I'm not sure that was a good direction. Like in retrospect, I would have loved if Sky Blue was healing it up first and Stokely countered it, right? That would have been a better story. But I do love the group. It's like next for next time. let's have a discussion of. I don't think there should be a heel faction or baby face. So let's
Yeah,
really how we conduct ourselves.
I do find it interesting that they have put Stokely, who I feel really is a heel and thrives best as a heel personality, with
Yeah,
two women that are definitely babyface women. That
yeah.
seems kind of interesting to me. I'm not sure I totally understand it, but at the same time, I'm here for anything Stokely does, so I'll let it play out. But yeah, it does seem kind of like a weird pairing.
Like like you said, I'm like as of right now, I'm entertained. I would love to see
Yeah,
how it played out.
yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah.
Well, that brought us to our main event of last night's Dynamite, and I really hate to say this because I don't like either of these guys. But they burned the house down. I thought this was a really solid match. Now let me rephrase. Let me be clear. It was called the Texas Death Match, and I'm not sure that I felt like it was. When you look at some of the John Moxley death matches, or some of the other ones that have taken place in AEW, I'm not sure that I think it reaches that level, but I don't think it needed to. The two of them I thought killed it. That spot where Matt Taven flew over Orange Cassidy and through the table, I thought he was dead. I was like, holy shit.
I looked.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm like, oh shoot.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be seriously injured. I mean, the two of them left it all out there in the ring. Orange Cassidy got the win, which, at this point in time, just for something different, even though I don't like him, I would have been happy with Matt Taven getting the win. And it would have seemed to me to make sense with the way they're pushing the Undisputed Kingdom to have Matt Taven have that title. It would
Yeah.
only help make that faction better. Um, but yeah, I mean, as much as it pains me to say it, both these guys they killed it. So I thought it was a very solid main event. I was very I enjoyed the match a lot. Let's put it that way.
And then it literally came out of nowhere. Like if you like, I'm pretty sure if you ask Dolores, because she writes down all the matches and what was going to be announced, it was a singles match, and it wasn't supposed to be. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh no, you beat up Chucky. We're gonna make it a Texas Death."
Yeah,
What? Oh, okay. Now, low key, best friends do very well in these circumstances. You like if you have not seen either of the parking lot brawls, those were great. Even
yeah,
like, even though it was a little bit more cheeky, the gamer match with Miro and Kip Sabian, that
Kip
was good for the
Sabian.
DQ side, and that was great. So they do well with these matches. So not going to say they don't, but again, it was still a big surprise, especially with Matt Taven. Now I'm not an OG Ring of Honor fan, so I don't have any ill will or anything bad to say about Matt Taven. But oh my, if you don't know him now, you know him now. Cause yeah, like you said, that table spot, and then they were both. I'm like, did I miss something? How they both busted in the face? Like, when did that
Yeah,
happen? And then the
yeah,
thumbtacks. I will say this: for a Texas death match on regular television, it delivered. Yeah, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. And I do agree with you about like, yeah, if this is the thing about like again towards Undisputed Kingdom, if we're trying to take this team seriously, they have to win something
yeah.
against someone creditable, not just a jobber. So I wouldn't mind if Matt Taven won, especially when what's his name came out there to help. Uh, what's the boy? Roderick Strong came out to help, but he didn't really. But
Yeah,
overall, in the vacuum, oh, this match was so good. Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree. I thought it was very good, and I enjoyed it a lot. So that brings us to the end of last night's Dynamite and another episode of Aftermath of Dynamite. Thank you for joining us tonight as we talked about everything AEW from the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you got anything else to say for the people, we'll go ahead and get up out of here.
Let's get up out of here. Oh, remind people of our schedule real quick.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry. Oh, I almost forgot the schedule. Good call. All right, here we go. You want to do it or you want me to do it? How about you do it?
Okay, fine. Let me get my reps in. Thank you again, as the wise man said. Thank you for coming and joining us for Aftermath of Dynamite. This is our schedule, but as a wrestling channel, you know card It's subject to change, but let's keep it. But let's tell you what the main schedule is, anyways. Now, on Mondays, we have Seeing Stars with the beautiful Dolores and the suave J News discussing New Japan Wrestling and Stardom. On Tuesdays, we have The Cookout with the four OGs of Workhorse Wrestling talking about what's going on in the week of wrestling. Anywhere, everywhere is everything, nothing's off limits. And then on Wednesday, we have All for Not with ALW and Sammy Joe talking about Monday Night Raw and NXT. And as you can see tonight, Thursday is the aftermath of Dynamite, where you have myself, Anika, with ALW talking about the whole week of AEW, topping it off with last night's Dynamite. And then Friday is a Friday night fight where we have a watch of WWE SmackDown along with AEW Rampage. And let's be clear, Rampage is going to be on first at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So tune in with us early tomorrow. Then Saturday night in the morning, we have Under the Radar with the classy CM and the wife men ALW talking about what's going on in the week of indie wrestling, more so MLW, TNA, and whatever we think you deserve to know. And then Saturday night is All Right, where we have a watch along of AEW Collision with Black Girl Magic with me, Anika, the beautiful Dolores, and the classy and sassy CM. And then we're going to cap the day off on Sunday with Enter the Square Circle, where we have the Wise Men, ALW, and Slim and Sammy Joe competing in the world of wrestling games.
Uh, Good job, good job, good job. So, just a reminder: this Saturday there is no collision because of the All Star game, so we won't be here this Saturday. And tomorrow we could talk about it. I don't know, no Sammy. So if you and with collision with Rampage coming on at 4, I can't be there till 5. So I was gonna come on and do SmackDown with you because no Sammy, but I can't do it till 5. So either you can do Rampage alone or we can skip Rampage, one or the other. Or maybe Dolores can join you for Rampage. I'm not sure.
We'll
We can talk
discuss.
about it.
Yeah.
We'll discuss. All right. In the meantime, thanks as always for joining us for Aftermath of Dynamite. And until next time, where is my outro clip? Right here. Here we go.
Bye.
Peace.